I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. The wine we're tasting today is Coolangatta Estate, Winsome Riesling, 2019 vintage, from the Shoalhaven River District of New South Wales. So the backstory to Coolangatta Estate is a very interesting one. It's got a long history. In fact, Coolangatta Estate is near Nowra, near Berry, the two little towns down on the south coast of New South Wales, just below Sydney, just below Wollongong. It's said to be the first settlement of the white man on the south coast of New South Wales, and it happened in 1822. Settled by a guy called Wollstonecraft and another guy called Alexander Berry. Berry obviously gave his name to the nearby town of Berry, and Wollstonecraft is a suburb in Sydney named after him. And his name's also on the top Semillon that Coolangatta Estate produced. So that little settlement was a self-supporting village. It had everything. They grew their own food. They even had a shipbuilding yard, interestingly. And they built a ship called the Coolangatta, which was wrecked at what is now Coolangatta Heads on the Queensland-New South Wales border in 1846. So that's why Coolangatta Estate and Coolangatta the place are actually linked. Anyway, it's run these days by the Bishop family. Greg Bishop planted the vineyard, or in fact his father, I think, planted the vineyard originally in the late 1980s, and they have done exceedingly well with this vineyard. The wines are made by Tyrrell's up in the Hunter, which also helps to explain why the quality is so high. The white wines are especially good, and Semillon is their famous variety, but Riesling has been up and coming in the last few years as well. So, how does this wine taste? Let's have a little schluck of this wine. Lovely, bright, light yellow colour. Good colour for a 2019, nearly 2 years old, and not too developed and not too pale. Beautiful floral aromas, very floral. White flowers, a touch of citrus blossom, perhaps lime zest as well, but very much a matter of flowers and honeysuckle, things like that. Really quite an entrancing nose. I love that. Quite a delicious wine. It's not a dry wine. I would describe it as off dry or half dry. There's a bit of residual sugar there, but there's enough acidity to clean the finish and give you a nice, refreshing, clean aftertaste that makes you want to eat something with it. There's a bit of a grip there as well, which helps the structure of the wine, which would help it go with food. I think when Riesling has a touch of sweetness like that, it goes with so many more foods than if it was bone dry and a little bit too austere. I think wines like that are a bit off-putting, but wines with a smidgen of sweetness in them, like this one, are very, very agreeable. They'll certainly win a lot more friends than the bone dry, austere style. Very good indeed. So how do we rate this wine? We gave it 91 out of 100, which is a good strong silver ribbon score. It was rated 26 out of 50, 19 vintage Rieslings from New South Wales. And we've said drink it now until 2029, so not a particularly long-term wine, another 7 or 8 years would be enough for this wine, but it's certainly aging beautifully the way I see it today. That wine, I think it's $40 a bottle, and it's a fair price for a wine of that quality. So we asked the owner of the vineyard, Greg Bishop, if he would like to nominate a food match for this wine, and he said pad thai, which is of course that very well-known Thai dish. It seems to me that with that little touch of sweetness as this wine has got in it, it would go with quite a few different Thai dishes, because it's a lot of spiciness in Thai food, and a little bit of residual sugar, especially in Riesling, goes beautifully with those sorts of dishes. Cheers.